Why am I holding this toothpick like I'm Razor Ramon? You gotta turn the sarcasm up just a little bit so I can tell.
You don't know that.
I wore out my bootleg copy of Kids of Comedy. And the amount of times I would pop it in the DVD player just to go to the end and just watch Bernie's set.
The gradual shift from sellout as an insult to sellout as an aspiration.
Selling out is just cultural common sense. It's no longer an insult, it's proof that you made it. The highest compliment is that you successfully monetized your influence.
That's what people coming up are seeing as someone that made it.
This is by design, bro. They just can't vocally be my friend because they have decided that that industry route is the route they want to go.
Yeah, you might f up the bag.
And I might f up their bag.
People deserve things?
Hardworking people deserve things.
Says who?
The person that's working hard.
Yeah, but people work hard all the time.
You're not owed. There's a difference between owed and deserving.
Hey, it's Hen Dog.
Black Zeus the Podcast Season 6, featuring Black Zeus and Dante, aka Black Zeus on YouTube, Patreon, and Instagram. Alright, I'm done.
Okay, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back, beautiful people, to another episode of Black Zeus the Podcast. I am Black Zeus. This is the podcast. You are the beautiful people, and this is Season 6, Episode 18. Yeah, you get a car, you get a car, you get a car. What's with my Oprah energy today? You need a coaster, my guy?
I got one.
All right, well, there you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, lots of energy for this week. Stone sober. Are you ready to be annoyed? Somebody hand me some weed right now. Hope you guys had a good week. I hope your next week is even better than your last. We are here to break down our week in comedy and talk some comedy in general. How about that? You know what it is. It's a podcast, a companion piece to mine and Dante's comedy careers, where we come here week to week and break down what we've been up to in the world of comedy, promote some shows, Oh, by the way, if you haven't seen the latest episode of Black Zeus' show, go check that out right now. Fire. All-star studded. Star-studded? Yeah, all-star studded. Still sounds wrong, though. All-star star-studded episode of Black Zeus' show. One of my favorites that we've done so far. We spent a night at the Real Jerk Legacy in Toronto with Giga Thiga at the Man Damn Toronto Comedy Jam. We got some great interviews with some absolute local legends of the Toronto comedy scene. Some of my friends, and now some of yours. So yeah, once again, go check that out if you haven't already. Go check out any of the videos on the channel and support, you know? If you're a fan of comedy, then you're in the right place. This is a page run by comedians for comedy fans. That's you. And I am done shilling now. Buy Timex watches. Shit. Don't buy Timex. Timex. Unless if in the future they come to me and they're like, yo, nigga, we f*** with you heavy. We don't even care if you talk shit, nigga. Just wear a Timex. Timex, nigga. Oh man, I have the worst career for sure in comedy. Don't do as I say and don't do as I do. Look in the mirror and figure out who you are. Why am I holding this toothpick like I'm Razor Ramon? I see. Oh, I shouldn't have. That's not my camera. First of all, I missed the camera, so don't worry. I won't do that again. Yeah, I should have smoked some weed. It would have calmed me down. But here I am. Hey, yo. Wrestling reference. All right, let's get into the show, ladies and gentlemen, because we got shows later on. Can't be late for those. I'm so tired of recording podcasts before shows and then just showing up on time. I'm going to be Dante today. I'm showing up a half hour early, my nigga. Maybe I'll be super Dante and show up 2 days early, bruh. Speaking of Dante, ladies and gentlemen, you know I don't do this shit by myself. I got the #1 producer in the game in the studio with me week to week, except for last week when he was sick. This nigga's not committed to the cause, except he is. Ladies and gentlemen, Dante's in the studio.
They got niggas believing they dark.
They got niggas believing they dark. Shout out to Dick Gregory, the OG, RIP, love you, miss you.
He died?
In that clip alone, he was like fucking 80.
Yeah.
That was like at least 2 decades ago, that clip.
Oh dang.
Yeah, Dick Gregory unfortunately passed.
R.I.P.
Yeah, if you're looking for some comedy history, go check out Dick Gregory. Absolute legend, but I think I don't want to say woke, but if you're not like open-minded, I'll say that. I don't think you'd really be into it. He speaks about social issues and stuff, you know what I mean? And that's his lane. I think he was the first black comedian to do like the cotton clubs and stuff back in the day, like the Playboy, like those are their rooms called the cotton clubs across the country of America. And I think Dick Gregory was the first African American. Happy African American Month. Wah. This episode sucks. Why would we need a soundboard? I made 80 noises already. How you living?
Blessed and highly favored.
Hey, you're never gonna say anything else, are you?
Why? I'm blessed.
Why? I'm just like,
And highly favored.
there's no other way to say that. What?
No, bro, I'm just speaking the truth, dog.
I'm grateful and
No, grateful is different than being blessed.
okay. Yeah, okay, that's fair. Okay, what's without using the internet? What is a thesaurus? Let me look through my thesaurus. I got nothing. I got no other way of saying that cleanly. What you been up to? Before we get into comedy, what you been up to?
I saw Thunderbolts.
Was it good?
Yeah, it's good.
Does it make you excited for the next phase of Marvel? That's what it's supposed to be doing, right? Setting up the next.
Those are just articles. I don't really care about that because people have been.
Well, you're a Marvel nerd, no? You
Yes,
don't care
so
about
I'm
that?
gonna watch it regardless.
But you don't want it to be like the best setup it could be?
Dog, I'm going to watch it.
That's true. I am talking to a guy that's slept in the movie theater for how many days?
2 nights, 3 days.
Oh my God. Do you still have that blanket they gave you?
I got 2. Yeah,
You took 2? How'd you get 2?
I went and got one, left, and went and got another
You're
one.
a nerd and you're greedy. That's crazy. Did you sell one?
No,
You use them both? You sleep on like this?
they're
You
just.
sleep with one over you and you sleep with one like. Who's your favorite Marvel character?
I have a few.
You don't have a favorite?
I don't have a favorite anything.
All right, that's fair. That's such a you statement. That's just I should have expected that. I don't have a favorite anything. Nick. We've turned into freaking Black Kill Tony. I just call you the N-word.
So, anyways, you gotta start with Black Panther.
Okay.
It's one of my favorites. Deadpool, before he got mainstream, like he was one of my favorites. Silver Surfer
Okay.
and Taskmaster.
Who the hell is that?
You don't know Taskmaster?
Seriously, you gonna say that out loud?
No, this is a joke.
Okay. Stop doing that. I don't know when you're freaking being sarcastic or not. You gotta turn the sarcasm up just a little bit so I can tell.
You don't know Taskmaster?
Not turn it up to 11, you piece of garbage.
No, so Taskmaster, he's this guy that he's closer to like a villain, but he does like good stuff sometimes, right?
Like an anti-hero type deal.
Kind of, but more on the anti part.
Okay.
And his whole thing is he can see somebody do something
Yeah.
and then he knows how to do it.
Okay.
So like he's got like
I just saw a construction worker use a screwdriver.
exactly, or he could see someone's fighting style and know their whole fighting style.
So if he sees Superman, let's say, I know it's cross universe. I'm just saying, just
Yeah.
for an example, if you were to see Superman, he would become Superman.
No, he doesn't get
He
their
can
powers.
fly.
No,
I
no,
can
no.
see you fly.
No, but it's just his it's like photographic memory, but with his like muscles basically. So like
He's a Tesla bot. He's essentially just a programmable dude. You're like, go pick up that box. Now you don't have a job. The guy just shows up. The guy just shows up. He's like, I saw what you did. I'm you now.
No, but like, okay, for instance, one of the things is like Hydra hired Taskmaster to like study all of Captain America's like moves that he would do.
Okay.
And then Taskmaster like trains the henchmen on like, oh, so
But if they don't have super strength, what's the point?
well,
Captain
you still
America
know
has
the
super
moves.
strength.
Yeah, but you know
You know the moves, but the guy will crush you with his pinky.
how can you crush someone if you know the moves?
Because the strength isn't the same.
Yeah, but you can't hit me if I know what you're gonna do.
You don't know when I'm going to do it.
Yeah, you do when you study them because you know his patterns and stuff.
This sounds lame. That
That's the
hero
whole
sounds-
point. Like that's why
To be lame?
no, to be sick. I think I think it's sick. But here's another thing about him.
Wait, no, we're done with the Taskmaster. He doesn't
No,
get
but
this much
hold on.
time.
No,
He does
but
not
no.
get this much time.
Because when he learns like a new like skill or whatever, or like a new like fighting style, he forgets a bit of himself. So because he has so much data stored in his
It's not
brain.
making it cooler.
I think it's sick. Because then he has to like get missions from a phone. Like he's like, I don't know who I am, but da, 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 da. So
All right. So the movie, Thunderbolts.
yes,
Is Taskmaster in it?
yeah, but the up kind that we don't talk about
Oh, what does that mean?
because one, they made it a woman. Two,
So you must be mad the new Silver Surfer's a woman too.
no, because that's a real character.
But she's the worst one.
What?
Isn't there a definitive Silver Surfer that everybody says this is the dude?
Well,
and it's a dude?
Yeah, but like I
They
said,
made it a woman. No, I'm just-
I like Silver Surfer, but I know there is also a female Silver Surfer.
There isn't a female
No, not that I've seen.
Taskmaster in the
'cause
comics?
Taskmaster is also he's like Jack.
Okay, until you got till 12 on this timer. Give me your quick rundown on the movie. Worth seeing if
Worth
you're,
seeing.
if you're not a Marvel fan, or you don't- like just like you just want to go see a movie.
Yeah, because it hits on some pretty interesting topics.
Okay,
Like one of the topics is like when your boy, he gets what's it called? Whenever, it's like a depression movie, but it's like it's dope.
I love you, bro. That's the best. You're like, you know what? I ain't even gonna deal with this nigga right now.
I know. It's like
As soon as you saw me roll my eyes,
You didn't just roll your eyes. You rolled your whole head. You're like,
you personally, out of 10, what would you give it?
out of 10, no
This is-
sevens.
This is Dante's no 7 rating, ladies. and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
I give it an 8.
Dress size. what's the movie's height, weight, dress size?
I give it an 8. It was good.
Damn.
Yeah,
All right. I hear a lot of good things.
yeah.
I still haven't seen Sinners, so I feel like if I'm going to the theaters, I would probably watch that.
Yeah.
I'm just not that much of a Marvel fan these days or ever. I was about to say some crazy shit. I do love Batman, but that's obviously DC. Like Peacemaker, I heard just like, oh, that's a trailer, I guess. The
Yeah,
show's not
season
out
2.
yet.
Yeah.
Did you watch the first season?
No, and what's funny is my cousin's in that.
In it,
Yeah.
fam.
Shout out to my cousin Bajan.
Well, what role does he play? Does he get beat up?
I don't
by
know. I haven't
John
seen
Cena?
it.
Does he get beat up by in season 2?
No, and he's in the first season.
Oh, you just haven't watched it. Okay, I
Yeah.
got you. All right, let's get into something we do here every week. The whole point of the podcast, ladies and gentlemen, comedy recap. Week to week, Dante and myself head into the studio, and as part of the podcast, we break down what we've been up to in the world of comedy, what shows we've been up to, jokes we've been working on, ideas, thoughts, yada yada yada. Yeah, I get you've been starting a lot, so I'll start. By the way, the show I had yesterday, Tamara forgot.
Yes.
So, yeah.
You're saying.
Yeah. So like I was booked on a show in Toronto. I booked it with Tamara in person when we were doing a show like 3-4 weeks ago. And she gave me a later date that wasn't May. And then because she's like, oh wait, someone just dropped out of this one. So she's like, you could do this one. She told me to text her. And what I did in front of her, I'm like, okay, I'll DM you right now, the reminder, just to remind myself to text you. For whatever reason, because I didn't have her number yet. And I was like,
You don't have tomorrow's number?
like, no, not phone number.
Really?
Yeah, what? I'm supposed to have everybody's number? Like,
No, but I mean, it's
I just been around for a minute?
Years.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't hang out with everybody. You take everybody's number?
No, but I'm just saying, like, how long? Like, you've seen her at least 6 years, maybe.
Yeah.
You never had to book a show with her before where you needed a phone number?
I haven't really booked with Tamara much.
Okay.
Yeah. I've just known Tamara. Me and Tamara run into each other a lot.
Yeah.
She moved into my old place when I moved out in Toronto.
Okay.
And yeah, it's funny because every time we see each other, like there's so much love and admiration between us
Tamara's
two.
really cool.
Yeah. And crushing it. But That's actually what made me be like, yo, I've never done your show. Like, let's make that happen. And she's like, oh yeah, like I never deal with IG. And then we didn't have numbers. So then we just, that's, I'm making more of an effort. I'm like, yo, what haven't I done? Let me go out and do these things. But I'm just like, I'm back, like in a different way, which is so funny because it's summertime, right?
Yeah.
So this is when comedy dies down, but I don't feel like it's the same.
You think it's gonna be like not as dry as other seasons?
Not even necessarily that. I still think it's gonna be a challenge to book shows throughout the summer. It always is. There's always a drop off when you're competing with outdoor stuff. I just mean in terms of like, I have a better understanding of what this scene here needs and how to provide it, and promotion, I think, is the part that I've never really put as much effort into before. Where like I've been talking to people and I've just been like implementing little things here and there, doing tests on posts and stuff. And I feel better equipped, which I should. I'm 14 years in, and we'll talk about it when I get to my little thing, because like we have a whole comedy screeds, and it'll all kind of feed into each other. So before I even start talking, like, do you want to run down what you've been up to? I know I said I would start this week, but I'm just like, I have a lot to say. I have a lot to say.
He spent 2 minutes saying that I'm going to say it later.
Welcome back to the show, bro.
Yeah. So I'll do the last 2 weeks.
Oh, damn.
Well,
you don't have to.
I do have to.
Okay. If you feel like you have to,
I gotta.
Let me take a drink.
Same.
This is the worst podcast ever. Go ahead.
So that week before I got sick, I felt like I had clicked up a notch in comedy, like comfort wise.
Okay.
Right. So I felt like just a lot more comfortable on stage than what I normally feel like.
Yeah.
And during that week, I had a show Monday. I did The Corner on Tuesday. I did 2 shows Wednesday. Then I did CFTA Thursday. And then I hosted the show on Friday.
Oh, bless.
So I went up like 6 times.
You really had to do that. All right. All right. That was wild.
What do you mean?
There's 5 days in a week and you did 2 shows on one of them.
Yeah.
You couldn't figure that one out on the fly?
I did do it on the fly.
As you're doing this, as you're counting them out. Yeah, we're both
I figured it out, dude. Come on.
That's how you do your set list on stage and shit. I did that joke.
But like I that was one of the busiest weeks in comedy that I've had.
I would say that's your busiest, no?
Yeah.
In terms of performing. I've never heard you say I did a show every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did 2 shows on one of the days.
Not a boy. All right.
Yeah.
And?
It was good. But I was so drained after. Like I was so exhausted. Because like I don't usually operate at that level. So when I spiked up to like 6 shows in a week, that's when I got sick on like the Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Oh, because what? You were just tired?
So exhausted.
Well, you know, there's such thing as sleep. Do you know?
Yeah.
You still going to bed at 4 a.m?
Going to bed at 4 a.m. Had to pick my parents up at the airport at 9 a.m. on the Friday. And then that's when I really felt it. And that's when I texted you, it's flu game season.
Yeah, it's not
powering
even.
through. It is for me, okay?
Really?
What?
It's flu game season?
You don't know about the flu game?
Flu game?
There was a time when Michael Jordan got sick.
Oh, that's what you meant? Okay.
Yeah.
The pizza was sent to his house or his hotel room? Or that's when he was food poisoned.
Yeah, no, he had the flu.
Yeah.
And then he still played and he did really well.
All right. I was conflating 2 different stories.
Another milestone alert. I hosted a show for the first time.
How did that go?
I
like your honesty.
I'm not too happy about it.
In what sense? Like, where do you feel like you underperformed?
I feel like I started off strong, and then it kind of like dipped out later. And it was like a long show too. It was like 2 hours. I came up with the lineup, and like it was just a long show.
2 hours is an hour and a half is max.
Yeah. So, and then I would like come up and then I'll try and do my jokes, and then the jokes wouldn't hit. Like the
And
ones
you're
that
like, I can't bring up the next comic like this.
I did anyways because I don't have anything else, and I'm not going to do crowd work.
Well, you shouldn't have done bits. You should have done all your stuff up front and just kept the show going smooth.
Well, that's what I was thinking, but then Kenny said, "Okay, well, you want to do some material off the top, and then save it for in case someone doesn't do well." So there's a few times where
Turns out that person was you.
no, because like someone would go up and then I'll try and do jokes, but like my jokes are a little bit
Oh shit.
up. You know, I'm learning this as I do them more in like different places.
You say that, but no, they're not. You say your jokes are up.
The one about the wheelchair one, did you see me do that one?
Yeah, about the podcast.
Yeah.
That's not up.
Dude, someone went like, "Oh shit," like they didn't even want to laugh.
I've never looked at your comment and be like, "Yo, that's gonna freaking create controversy." Like not in terms of like not in a negative sense.
Yeah.
Just I don't think you're like a shock comic.
That's what I thought, but people are literally shocked when I'm like, "Oh."
It's just because they're pussies, man.
Yeah. But anyways, so then I'm like, oh, okay, well that didn't land. And the next person,
Yeah.
and in the beginning, I would like riff off something someone said, and then that would get a laugh. But then also like people just started like leaving throughout the show. So we started with like the full room,
Yeah.
and then like there was like 8 to 10 people left.
What was the full room? Like 20?
Probably 20, 25.
Oh, you lost half the audience?
Yeah, well, because a lot of people were there to see their friends, right?
Okay, and
And then
and if
once-
it shows 2 hours,
Yeah.
people are going like this, looking
Yeah.
at their Timex watches, ladies.
But
This show is not sponsored by Timex. You go f yourself.
we're sponsored by onlinestopwatch.com.
That's so funny. Salute to free online stopwatches. Your number one place for online stopwatches. Onlinestopwatch.com.
But yeah, so that's the recap,
Okay, that was the first week, no? You
Yeah.
said you wanted to do 2 weeks.
I want to go 2 weeks back.
Oh, I see. Okay, do you have any highlights from this most recent week? Like a highlight, top one?
I don't even remember what I did this
All
week.
right. Well, I'll start. We were together at CFTA on Thursday.
Yes.
I don't normally pop into the mic, but I will. Like, again, I'm like, there's a resurgence of energy for me.
I did the Milton mic.
This nigga already had his time.
I forgot. That was on Monday. I did the Milton mic and it was good.
Was Trevor there?
Trevor was there.
Yo, salutes to Trevor, man.
Trevor's really clicking up.
He is, I'm seeing him everywhere.
Yeah.
I told him the other day,
Yeah.
dude, I'm so proud. I'm
Yeah.
like, yo, are you going to CFTA tonight? He's like, no, I'm booked.
Yeah.
In Toronto. I'm like,
Yeah.
It was his first Toronto booking.
Yeah.
Oh, bro. So to kind of keep it in the same realm of conversation, when we went to CFTA, because I'm not there that often, and it is just an open mic night at this club, like I would say 98% of the people that go there are all new. Like every once in a while, I'll see like Doug. I saw him once.
Yeah, Doug was there recently, actually.
I know.
Yeah.
I messaged him just today, actually. Got to link up with Doug. But you'll see like Mike Mitchell, I heard will show up every once in a while.
I've seen him there
Some of the more established people, Dan
Yep.
Brennan, we saw.
Yeah,
You know what
he's
I mean?
been there a few times.
So of this scene specifically, but of all, like most of the people I see when I go there is just all new faces. And so I've been going there like inconsistently since they opened, which was like a year ago now. Like, not even?
But yeah, they just had a year.
So to see the level of dedication and progression, I forget sometimes just how really incredible that shit is, man. I don't like, honestly, I do think about it all the time, but from the perspective of me and like the people around me, but just to see like a whole group of people that I watched, like literally some of those people had never picked up a microphone the first time I'd seen them.
Faye's amazing.
Surprised the shit out of me, man.
Yeah.
She has all of a sudden
Shout outs Faye.
Shout outs Faye.
Yeah.
Like of the Hamilton comedy scene. Like she found some confidence, man.
Yeah.
And it's just great to, bruh, you don't realize just how much you do love comedy until you see other people progressing at the thing you love and taking it seriously. I'm like, man, that is just my favorite shit. One of the people who I am absolutely mesmerized by, brother of both of ours in this comedy game, Abbas Wahab.
Yeah.
Like to see what he has done.
Yeah.
And then to like just to see the risks that he takes. Having a family, moving him out to New
That
York.
boy be taking risks, dog.
But that's what this is.
Yeah.
My nigga, that's what this whole, not even comedy, that's what life is.
Yeah.
It's all about taking calculated risks, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just so grateful to see so much all around me. And it's like inspiring in so many ways. And you, like, how do I say this? First, so just to get back to the shows briefly. So we did CFTA.
Yeah.
I was supposed to do the show yesterday at Comedy Bar. Thankfully, I messaged her before I went out and figured that out, so I didn't have to drive all the way out there. But we did go to Art Crawl.
Yep.
Just scoping out. Art Crawl's like a local vendor night in like once a month. The city
Artist vendor.
Yeah, artist vendors. They shut down like the major downtown streets, kind of like Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
Where Austin does it from Thursday to Sunday
Yeah.
every week.
Every week. Every night.
We're like one Friday a month, pick it, bitches,
Yeah.
and show up. So they shut it down, and everything from the top to the bottom of like the downtown block, is just all art, vendors, live music. So we checked that out, and I got some, bruh. For me I saw this like this,
Yeah.
and the second I just saw Kings, dude, this is how much I know this box.
Yeah.
Know your box.
You've
ladies and
mentioned
gentlemen.
you've mentioned the yellow box so many times on this podcast.
And I have a DVD, but now I finally have my own copy of Original Kings of Comedy VHS, and I opened it just to make sure. I was like, oh, please, no. But bro, I was like 10 feet away.
Yeah.
And I just saw Kings. And I just
This guy ran
I just
over.
bolted. I'm like, no. And yeah, the guy had no other like comedy stuff, but like honestly, this was it for me. Then we walked into Bambino's. Shout out to the fine folks at Bambino's, our good friends.
Yep.
And got myself finally, again, I have the DVD of this too, but finally got myself a VHS copy of Man on the Moon. I think I got to get a VHS player.
Yeah.
I have a few VHSs now.
You have Boondocks on VHS? No joke.
No, that's not. Man, your jokes are, man, what are you trying to be, Bilal Muhammad on this freaking podcast? You coming in with the freaking the sleepers today. Enjoy the fights, ladies and gentlemen.
He's coming in with sleepers.
Oh man, are you excited for the fights tonight or what?
Yes, I'm excited.
Yeah, I know.
I'm excited.
You're always excited for the fights. That's the
Yeah.
wrong person to say. Have you seen Kings of Comedy?
I've seen it maybe once. I don't remember it though.
And I think I made you watch this as homework when we were doing that.
Yeah, I didn't do my homework though.
There probably couldn't be two more important pieces of comedy media. This specifically, this came a little later in life for me, even though I was a kid when it was out. Like this, I saw immediately, and the impact this had on my life, bruh. Like, do you remember the bootleg era when we would like burn our own shits, like burn DVDs and burn our own shits?
I know you're burning your own shit.
Like, bro, when I tell you I wore out my bootleg copy of Kings of Comedy, and the amount of times I would pop it in the DVD player just to go to the end and just watch Bernie's set and just take in the mastery. And you know what's amazing is you can now find on YouTube, like, because they did a tour, obviously, before. That's how comedy works. You're doing a taping and you do a tour before the taping to make sure the material's all polished and stuff.
Yeah.
There's like 2 or 3 versions of Bernie's set from the tour on YouTube now that people filmed from the audience or whatever. Like, and it's the whole set. Some of them look like
filmed it like this.
I think I don't know how much of it was official. And you know what? I still haven't seen LOL Radio, Kevin Hart's station on
Oh yes, you've
Sirius
mentioned
XM.
it.
Yeah, they put out a documentary or like this unreleased album of Bernie Mac, and I still haven't been able to find it. I'm so upset. Like, do I have to get Sirius XM to get this thing? And it was like 3 years ago now. Am I even gonna still be able to find it? Like, I really want. Man, I love Bernie, bro. Like,
Yeah.
such an influence of mine. And And tonight I'll be at the corner hosting. Have we recorded an episode where I hosted?
Yes, a while
Yes?
back.
It's wow, okay. And then I will be with Bong Young Kim.
Tonight?
No, tomorrow.
Oh,
Yeah.
Andrew's gonna be on that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be a fun one. Last time we were there, it was so fun.
Yeah.
Like it's
And
weird
this
that
at free times?
yeah, on Mother's Day too. Like I wonder what it's gonna be like, but they seem to have
Yeah.
a great show last time. So I wanted to. It's like this week's comedy recap for me and the comedy screens are kind of be blended together, but I will separate them just for the sake of editing. Ladies and gentlemen, that was comedy recap. We're moving into another segment that we do here on the podcast that we love, and sometimes you love it and sometimes you hate it. Indies comedy screens, ladies and gentlemen. Week to week, Dante and myself, we find something that's going on in the world of comedy or entertainment, something that relates to the world of comedy, story, an article, a piece of footage of someone bombing.
Throwing pizza.
Yeah, something like that. And we give our 2 cents. And this week is no different, but it's not directly tied to comedy. I'm going to bridge the gap here. This is generally speaking for being an artist in this day and age. First of all, unmute it before you hit play for me. And yeah, it's.
Should I?
Let me read it for. I think you should be able to, yeah. And then just make it bigger.
No.
It doesn't matter yet. Okay. So this was a reel I saw on Instagram, and this is the caption. We're living in a sell-out society. Today, tracking the death of counterculture over the past few decades and the gradual shift from sellout as an insult to sellout as an aspiration, with a little dose of capitalist realism plugged in. So it's one of these like you know freaking social media guys that's just breaking down the problems of society, as we like to do on this podcast. Once again, this is a comedy podcast, so we will bridge the gap here, and I will give my 2 cents on how this relates to my comedy career. But just to give some backstory, I mean, you've been with me week to week. If you've been paying attention to watching the podcast, first of all, love you, thank you. If you're new, hit the subscribe. You're looking kind of ugly, but you can be a beautiful person if you hit that sub right now. I've expressed, especially the last few episodes, how I'm counterculture.
The last few.
I'm trying to be on every episode of this podcast. I at some point will mention how I am very counterculture, how I grew up anti-establishment, how I grew up listening to, I love skateboard culture, freaking punk rock, freaking gangster rap, all that shit, like all the tropes growing up. But then all that stuff just resonated with me and stuck with me my entire life. And it wasn't until I saw this reel, and you get that perspective from another person, like. He broke this down in such a way that I had like an epiphany. And I swear, Dante, like I'm not against it. I'm very happy about I'm proud of myself for being vocal and saying these things in a public fashion. Cause just like how, Patrice and them like inspired me to think critically about what I'm getting into and like, okay, do I just want to be a comedian or am I actually like, what do I want out of this? That's why I feel like it's important to speak like this. Again, like this. Only on our platforms though, not like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Outside of our platform doesn't make sense to me. Or on the comedy stage, you know what I mean? Like this seems like the place to diatribe like this. But when I heard this dude break this down like this, I was like, holy f***, this is everything that I've been feeling that I just haven't articulated like this. And when I heard it, it like created a sense of calm over me. And I'll get into that a little bit. I already like broke down a lot of the things over the course of these podcasts and stuff, but we'll watch this and then I won't speak. I'll let it all play out.
Art has become the aspiration. Today I want to talk about the death of counterculture and the sell-out society. In the 60s and 70s, punk, hippie, early hip-hop all began as direct challenges to mainstream culture and capitalism itself. As within the movements, right up until the 90s, there was one insult that stood above all others: don't be a sellout. The argument being that commerce poisons the well of artistic expression and leaves your vision forever compromised in favor of marketing to conventional tastes. But now the script has been flipped. As soon as a counterculture reaches any level of societal popularity, it's immediately turned into an aesthetic to be packaged and sold. Now this has been happening since the 90s, when MTV recognized that nothing plays better on MTV than a protest against MTV. But it's been supercharged by algorithms. With everything visible, trackable, scalable, the path from outsider to influencer has never been more streamlined. The game now isn't to remain authentic on the margins, it's to leverage that authenticity just long enough to get your brand deal. Selling out is just cultural common sense. It's no longer an insult, it's proof that you made it. The highest compliment is that you successfully monetized your influence. This is a bona fide classic of capitalism. We don't need to defeat counterculture, we can just absorb it. Now, I think it's important not to be judgmental towards any individual that does this. Extreme cost of living pressures has made it incredibly difficult to live on the margins. And even much of the counterculture of the 60s and 70s came about because the subsidization of higher education allowed a much broader class of people to come together and explore alternative ideas for how to organize society. But now that the floor's dropped out, you've got to figure out how you're going to eat first before you start a revolution. But where does this leave us? With counterculture suffocated at point of origin, how are new ideas supposed to take root? And is there even a way for them to grow while resisting aestheticization? Later this week, I'm going to talk about how brands fueled the death of counterculture, whether there's a way out.
So tell me that isn't the most polite way of saying everything I've been saying on the podcast. Like this guy found a way to break it down in a minute.
Yeah.
And not have people hate him about it.
You took
Y'all niggas suck. And you try to sell me bullshit and your comedy's not even good. He found a way to say it nicer.
Yeah.
Do you agree or disagree before I start spilling my beans on this?
Hey, yo. No, 100%. Because the whole point is, once again, people want to be rich and famous. Right? So there's a creator that he was showing on the screen where they had the little Carmex thing, and then all of a sudden they're at the Met Gala or wherever.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that's supposed to be like, well, they were just some niche creator beforehand, da-da-da-da-da. All of a sudden they make it, then they fall in line.
Make it. Yeah.
Well, make it to their own standards, you know? But that is what's happening. But then another good point he makes is like, well, people need money these days.
Of course.
So it's like, and everyone's trying to figure out any which way that they can get money.
So on Saturdays, as I do mostly with some of my friend group, we go to the farmer's market and stuff, and we just chill. It's like a bunch of artist friends and stuff. So today was just me and my one homie, who's like a brother to me, and he's a graph writer. And I swear to you, like we had groceries in hand, and we're like about to split. I'm going home, he's going home. And we must have stood on the hot corner with like full groceries for like an hour and a half.
Chicken melted in the bag.
And the discussion started, like it really ramped up when I brought this up. But this is how it started, because we're both at a place where it's like, we've been doing our art for so long, and it's like breaking past that threshold of, okay, now I want to survive. We didn't get in it because we want to be famous or make money and all that stuff. Like obviously that's a thing you think about, but it's not the reason you get in.
Yeah.
Then eventually you get good enough at your thing and you're like, you know what? I don't want a day job. I want to live off this. And it's like finding that what's been happening to me. And that's why, again, like doing this on the podcast is kind of catharsis for me too, right? Like I'm checking myself when we have conversations. You're checking me, I'm checking you, but like we're both too esoteric, spiritual type dudes. So we know what's happening. It's like, when you speak, it's me challenging me. When I speak, it's you challenging you. And then we both grow as individuals and as friends. It's like,
yeah.
So the process of me constantly talking about this stuff and me wanting to do it is because of Patrice.
Yeah.
Definitely. And hearing the way he was just open about his experiences on the Opie and Anthony podcast, it helped me. Once I got in it and I started to see the things just even at the small scale of where I am.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, it made me reassess. And 100%, especially in the days where I was doing that comedy villain character online. But I brought this up with my homie. I don't want to mention me and my crew, bro. I don't know if you can tell, but we're super private people. Like, I know it might not seem like much to you, but like all of us are like old school neuroses artists about our shit.
Yeah.
Like trying to be completely invincible to the man. But I kind of went the opposite route. Anyways, it like you almost have to go through the process, and then it's sink or swim, right? Like I went through the stages of being jaded. It's like the stages of grief, you know, the however many stages of grief versus denial, then it's anger, depression. It's like these realizations of, okay, I got into comedy because I absolutely love comedy.
and I want to be the best at this that I can be. And then eventually you get good, and I'm like, okay, I want to support myself. That at that crossroad of me sticking to the guns of artistry, and then seeing like a ton of people that I know and a ton of people that I don't know just go down this route of I want to be known, make money, this and that. Like, it definitely came with a lot of, like, I was jaded for a bit. I don't ever think I was jealous because I've been on myself, but like, I've been evolving as a being. I think I consider my birth as a person, honestly, at 22, when I was in my car accident. That's when I started really critically thinking about my life, about how I was acting, about my behavior, about my surroundings, about how I came up, and all this, and started just figuring it out. And then, like, the same thing is kind of happening in terms of comedy. I'm 14 years into comedy, and how I look at that is I'm a 14-year-old in comedy. So I'm having like these realizations kind of in line with what a teenager would be having. It's like, okay, I've been existing now for a while. I feel like I have autonomy and a sense of self. Where I feel like I'm grateful is that my real life, I'm much older than 14. So all those lessons now apply, and it's almost like I can boost. Like, I've deaded the jealousy thing. I think it's really negative, even towards yourself, if you see somebody in your field that is succeeding. Like, look at a boss. He's been doing this half the time that I have been, and he is way further.
Yeah.
You know? There's no part of me that looks at that and be like, the boss.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even for people I don't like, I've made it a point that since the age of 22, like, I'm shedding all these shitty traits about myself, anger, jealousy, like resentment, all this. And so that fed into my comedy. And that's why I am the way I am in comedy, you know? Like, that's why I'm where I was infant about things, where I was still a 14-year-old about things, is that I didn't realize, like, all these realizations I had in my personal life that I'm feeding into comedy. I wasn't like checking myself, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, how much of this do I need to vocalize? How am I vocalizing this? Because I'm not trying to be out there. When I created the whole comedy villain character, my literal thinking behind it was, okay, in this day and age where I'm seeing everybody create online personas and characters and personalities to push their shit, I'll make mine the comedy villain. That'll be my page. But it's not to be a villain against comedians. It's to call out the bullshit, like, that I've been dealing with in the industry. That's why I have a problem with, like, podcast cringe and shit, because they're like, we're calling out the hypocrisy in comedy. I'm like, you're not in comedy. Let me tell you about the hypocrisy in comedy, because you only seem to be thinking hypocrisy is like Joe Rogan and his friends. Like, let's say what's actually happening to a comedian coming up. The hypocrisy that I literally deal with. Like, do you want to be more known, more money? Do you want, like, credits and all that stuff? I would feel like a hypocrite to myself. I would be going down paths that are just not authentic to myself. And the crazy part is what he's describing is exactly what I didn't realize I was viewing. I grew up counterculture. No wonder why I'm against the way the system is set up for artists.
Yeah.
Now that I am an artist 14 years in, I'm actually now experiencing the things that I was countering as a kid. But what he just described is so true. I grew up, and if you got called a sellout, your career was like, you're just a mainstream mark, and you're for you're just for mainstream, like, friggin' regular degulars, bro.
Yeah.
Like, boring. They don't even really know the nuances of the art. They just like, oh, they heard you say something that they heard on the radio, so this is fucking hilarious. It's like, that's the route that most of these people are taking. And I didn't even realize, bro, that's what's happened. It's not even just that. It's now the norm. Like, success is selling out. Success is getting a podcast sponsor, like, to sell for.
It depends on what you define as success.
Well, monetarily.
Okay.
There was a route. There was, I feel like, more past, but now with the advent of socials and all that stuff, the reason, like, I just shouldn't have even called myself the comedy villain. I should have just started presenting my socials as it is now.
Yeah.
Because I'm presenting it how I wanted to with that moniker, but I should have just been presenting it, the label, you know, and just let people figure it out.
Yeah.
What I've gotten better at is, like, posting more long form clips where people actually hear us having the dialogue.
Yeah.
And it's not just like, this shit is shit. It's like, that's a 30-second clip. It was like, yo, this guy's bitter or jaded or whatever, or he has no success himself, so he's just gonna say other people are shit. It's like, no, other people actually are shit, but like, that's what's incentivized.
Yeah.
That, like, and it's not even to say that they're all garbage. Like, there's so much talent there, obviously. And there are a lot of people in the mainstream spaces that are just as talented as the real, I think, the real heroes who don't go that route and just stick to their guns. It's just,
You know what I was thinking the other day? Because Corey Holcomb was talking about the movie 300 and how like, and I have to go back and watch 300.
okay.
But he talks about taking the goat path.
Yeah, Corey.
You know what I mean? So like, I want to go back and see the scene that he's talking about because everyone goes down the one path and this is the way that everyone's going if you want to make it. But there's a hidden like trail that you could take. It's harder. It's da 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 da.
Yeah. So I have to add an asterisk to this, which is probably going to throw some people just like, okay, you know what? This argument, F it now. I'm just not even going to listen. But to me, and this isn't like God, devil, good, bad type shit, but the whole aspect of life is spiritual. In my eyes, in my viewpoint, this is no different.
Yeah.
This is absolutely no different. When he's talking about, like, you grow up, and this is what me and my homie on the corner were talking about. It's like, because he was making the argument that was like, yo, at some point, how do you tell a person who's in the game of, we'll just use comedy because that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Who's been in the game of comedy, who now has kids,
Yeah.
mouths to feed,
Yep.
no longer just worried about himself. How are you like going to say that that's the wrong path for you to take when now you have so many other things to work? It's not just about you and what you want and how you want to approach the game and
100%.
taking the longer route
Yep.
to get the same accolades, but taking a way longer route because the other way will platform you a lot sooner. You'll be seen. You could be even promote some Nike shit. Oh, look at this, the Nike comedian. Like fucking Kevin Hart has shoes. What the fuck are we doing here? To me personally, what the
Yeah.
I like some of the Gaga songs. What the does she know about cameras?
But you're a stand-up comedian. You're gonna stand up in your socks.
You're off the show. But I get it. I completely, and there was a part of me that didn't think about that early, like years ago. And now that I'm progressing, I'm maturing, and I'm seeing my friends have kids and like, it's like, well, they're making it in the industry of comedy and they're supporting their families and stuff. How is that not success? That's absolutely success. And I don't think it knocks them for going the industry route. Like, but does that change? And this is where I say it's spiritual. Because like, this is what you would classify in esoteric sense, a demiurge. Anything that keeps you locked into, you know, like humanity and friggin' not evolving spiritually. If you're an esoteric person, if you're looking at any spiritual, like this isn't a religion thing. Literally every spiritual faith tells you the same thing. Every religion tells you the same thing. Every spiritual practice, they're all telling you
we're at 5:30.
it's you in this world, and that's all you really got. You can't control anybody else. You can't save anybody else. And every time you try to, you usually end up suffering. And that's what was happening with me, right? I'm trying to be like, no, but this is bullshit. But it doesn't even matter. I mean, the majority of the game has always been mainstream. And always mainstream has always been the lowest common denominator. And that's not to say that you can't find people in the mainstream that still have like, that think like you and act like, because bro, we still participate in mainstream stuff too. Like you went to Marvel stuff and like I go to wrestling, you know what I mean? Like, so like you have to kind of check yourself. I'm happy that that's happened over time. But the way this guy articulated exactly, like that's exactly what I've experienced and I haven't articulated, but I've been feeling.
Yeah.
It's now the cool thing to sell out. It's actually the way people perceive success now is you're not successful unless you have like 100,000 plus followers and you have some sponsorship, like you're selling them some friggin' whatever, merch.
But that's the times we're in, right? Because think of it.
No, because there has always been commercial.
No, but hold on, let me finish.
Okay, sorry.
back in like your day, right? No, let me land.
Back in my day.
Let me land, right?
Let me land. Yeah.
The people that were either artists or skaters or whatever, right? They
Counterculture people.
counterculture people, right? And there's still counterculture people today, but there's also a lot more people on their phones on TikTok.
Well, that's what didn't exist. We're inundated 24/7 now.
That's the point I'm trying to make. Because now what people see as making it, whereas before it's like what I see as making is being able to, gap the 16 set, as a skater, and just you can hit El Toro and do a back 360. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's making it as a skater, being a good skateboarder. But now what's making it as a skateboarder now is having 100,000 followers on TikTok.
And like a Monster Energy drink on your helmet.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
that's like making it as a skater, even if you're maybe not the best skater, but you've got a big following.
But see, this is
because that's what people coming up are seeing as someone that made it.
But this is by design, bro. This isn't by accident.
I'm not
saying that. I'm not
Yeah.
saying it, but like I'm going with what you're saying.
Yeah.
This is by design, and this is why I say it's spiritual, bro. Like the only way the world continues to get more fucked up, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be a soapbox guy, but the reason that you look around you, everywhere on this earth right now is on fucking fire, and it's only progressively getting worse. Our money's worth less. Everybody's money's worth less. This is less job opportunities. Let me get through this.
Let me land.
Yeah, let me land. It's like, how do we not stop and like, bro? We just keep going with the flow. It's because, like, I'm the crazy person because I'm stopping to be like, hey, can we all like stop and look at this for a second? Whereas, especially now because social media, you could see a million people making it, selling you something before you see one of me's.
Yeah.
So I look even crazier now. Whereas back in the day, like I feel like there was more healthy dialogue, and it was
There was dialogue,
and it was healthy because you can make it one of two ways. You could still make it and not go the commercial route. I mean, you can do that now, but what even is that without having to go down a lot of these paths that most likely you might not have or wouldn't have in the past?
Yeah.
And where I keep saying it's spiritual, bro, like we're going again, like we're giving into the degradation of life. And then we don't stop and ask ourselves how we got here. But by the time we do, it's like, oh, it's too late. And they've already pushed things so far along. You know what I mean? Like, how is it that this has been able to flip? At what point did we stop paying attention to the fact that, yo, this person's a real, like, they're just selling out. They're just trying to.
Okay, here's a question. Is it like, people that were older, they stopped paying attention, or it's the younger people that are coming up that they just...
It's a mixture of both.
Right?
You start having kids.
Yeah.
You start, you get bills. You get locked into, I need to make money to survive.
Yeah.
Now I have to go down this route.
Yeah.
Because sure, I want to stick to my guns and be vocal about what I'm experiencing or whatever, but I have mouths to feed and I have responsibilities, and now it's not just about me. That's what life is. That's what life is. They lock you into some bullshit and then you get stressed out until you die, and then it just keeps moving along.
Yeah.
But it's like 10 times worse than when you were a kid, because guess what? Every 10 years they just keep moving the goalpost until now it's actually seen as normal to sell out. And I'm the crazy guy being like, what the why is everything so commercial and not about the passion of things? I get it. You want to support yourself and your family and all this shit.
Yeah.
And of course you want to travel. Like last week when you weren't here, I really went on this tirade about Live Nation and Ticketmaster. And now it's the cool thing for comics to be getting a Live Nation tour. But it's are we not seeing what Live Nation is doing to live art? They're completely destroying it. They have with Ticketmaster created some sort of hybrid baby, and they own all the venues, and they have all the artists locked down under contract. And it's okay, a couple of the artists are shining.
Yeah.
And then the whole art form, and this is what I'm saying, nobody fucking cares about the actual whole thing. They just care about themselves. It's not about, but enough basic people see that, and that's what they, that's what they aspire to be like too. This guy made it. He has 100,000. He has 500,000 and a sponsorship and a friggin' this and that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did you see Kai Cenat's doing a streamer university?
we lost, bro.
I want to say, just going back, because you're talking about there's so many people going with the flow. And earlier, I described Thunderbolts as a depression movie, but I didn't want to use the word depression because it literally opens up with one of the main characters saying, like, I don't even know what I'm doing with my life. I'm just going with the flow.
Interesting.
I'm just a leaf in the wind in a river. You know what I mean? Like, and then so she's trying to deal with that. Like, I'm going with the flow, but I don't feel right inside. Why don't I feel good?
It's tough, bro. It really is tough. And you know what gets tough? The longer you stay in things. You know where I'm at now? And this is why I'm so grateful that I am who I am. And I've been working through my life traumas when I did. And now I feel just clean.
540, by the way.
I just feel clean in life. But I'll end it here. What I'm at the point now, 14 years in, where a lot of the people in my immediate peer group are starting to get more things, you know, out of the game of comedy. Even like a boss, like we talked about earlier, people that came up after me are getting more quote unquote things in the world of comedy. I'm so grateful that I have worked on myself to the point where I don't look at that and I'm jaded or jealous. I'm motivated and I'm driven and I'm like, there's no difference between that person and me. It's just I'm taking a much different route and I'm so much more at peace with that, especially hearing things like this. It makes things make more sense. But what makes it tougher, you know, is like, you know how many of my friends in my immediate peer group are still my friends. We talk regularly. And you know how many of them like appreciate that I'm vocal about this stuff.
Yeah.
And like, they're like, yes, man, thank you, this and that, which I'm not doing it for that either. But like, just like almost none of them, unless the ones that really just are like me, they don't like, bro, perception is whatever. Yeah. Your perception of me is your perception of me. But a lot of these people can't be my friend vocally in the scene anymore. They can't accept the tags on my posts anymore. They can't, like, they just can't vocally be my friend because they have decided that industry route is the route they want to go.
Yeah, you might fuck up the bag.
And I might fuck up their bag, which I don't resent them for that. Yeah. I get it. Like, I think it's super important. I know why I'm where I'm at. Yeah. And I think that's such a key role in all of this. Because if I wasn't doing all this internalizing and checking and meditating and like really thinking about what I'm saying and refining it, I'm doing it in real time. So there's been times where I've fucked up.
Yeah, the comedy taken you 2 seasons to finally get to this point.
Well, I mean, the comedy, but that's what this is.
I know.
That's literally what this is. I'm okay with that. Yeah. I'm not trying to present myself as being some perfect entity. Like I just came out the bag and all of a sudden I have these sponsorship deals, but I'm still not funny. You know who you are. Most of you. Again, it's just I'm just saying me. I'm just doing me. But like it's made it so much easier. I'm even less not less, like I'm just not even upset at the fact that like, yo, I'm kind of happy for them now. I'm seeing it. I'm like, okay, well, you're in a position in life where you feel like you have to go this route. Good for you. That has nothing to do with me. But it's also just interesting to see how people can't vocally be my friend. Like some of them can't because it might affect, I can't get on this friggin' festival now. Bruh. If you're in it for life, and I ain't going away. Like until I die, I'm just doing this, and I'm not trying to be like I need a legacy or whatever. Nigga, maybe when I first started, I'm like I want to be like Chappelle.
Legacy is part of the ego. Who needs a legacy?
Get ego, my nigga.
Legacy doesn't mean shit.
Thank you, Mr. Tyson. But yeah, do you have any anything you want to add to that? Because we're gonna wrap it up here.
What do I have to add to that?
Am I crazy? I love asking you this question because I feel like I like getting the honest feedback because I know sometimes I'm stepping outside of like a realm of reality because it's just me thinking like this. So like, do I sound bitter, crazy, jaded, or angry, or
no? Because
resentful,
I relate to it. You know, there are times where I could have did things where I didn't want to do it. You know, or like taking the easy road. I don't want to call it that, but I could have taken the comfortable road, we'll say. You know, like, oh, I could, you see a lot of guys where they'll get a nice job, and this is just not even comedy wise, life wise.
Yeah.
They'll get a nice job, but they don't like it, but there's not much risk in it,
Mm.
and they're just
They can
kinda chill.
coast.
They can coast, but I think that coasting is actually more painful than what you would face.
Hell yeah.
You know, facing it earlier on,
Hell yeah, bro.
trying to like decalcify your eyes. You know.
I feel like it also gets to a point where you just start believing your own bullshit. Like when you go down that path, man, there's so much self-congratulatory bullshit energy in that route. It's like awards and all the, you know what I mean? Like awards.
Yeah.
This shit is so subjective. Art is so subjective.
Mm-hmm.
What the f are we talking about awards, my nigga?
Yeah.
Like that route. Oh, credits. Now I'm better than you because I have these credits.
Yeah.
It's like I've demystified so much of show business to myself by being in it, and it's kind of the most beautiful thing. Like even like venues and stuff. Like I used to feel like, oh, I need as a comedian, I have to perform here. Like, bro, I'm so okay with everything I've been doing because I'm living life.
Yeah.
And I feel alive and I feel good about what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
If I didn't, then there'd be an issue. You know? So like, damn, bro. Just whatever your path is, just make sure you're on it because you want to be and not because of social pressures or whatever. Like take the GOAT path. It's okay. It might take you a little or a lot longer to get where you want to. And no. And here's the fucked up part. You might not get to where you know you absolutely deserve to.
Deserve.
I mean, okay, if you're absolutely. Absolutely, bro. Because if we're talking about
People
other
deserve things.
hardworking people deserve things.
Says who?
The person that's working hard.
Yeah, but people work hard all the time.
You're not owed. There's a difference between owed and deserving.
I don't see it, but that's me.
How is there no difference?
Because I could say I work
I
hard.
owe you $50 versus you deserve $50
Why do I deserve?
because you put in $50 worth of work.
So why don't I deserve $20? Why don't I deserve $3,000?
That's up to you to say how much you're worth,
I know, but
and
that's
then
why
make other people believe it.
But that's why I think you're not okay. So maybe you get what you deserve, but you're not.
You have to prove it. You have to prove your
Hold on,
worth.
no, you don't. You're not owed what you deserve. Like
That's what I said.
Just because, but you said because you work hard, you deserve to get this.
Well, let me finish.
I don't.
There, if you in the context of there are complete bums
Yeah.
getting accolades.
Yeah.
There are complete heroes who will go completely unnoticed, and
Yeah.
they do deserve some shine. You're telling me they don't?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like that's why I'm trying to.
They're
figure
not
it out.
owed it.
Yeah.
The world doesn't owe you shit, but you put some work in, and damn right you deserve something.
Okay.
I would imagine.
I want to look up the definition of deserve.
Let's do it before we get out of here. Do it quick though, please.
Because I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Right. Like you know me, I work hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I can work as hard as I work and da 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 da.
Well, if you work 20 hours, then you're owed 20 hours salary if that's what's agreed upon. They can overlap. I think deserve and owe can overlap. Like in that situation, you deserve the money that you're owed, but
to be worthy of.
deserve to be worthy of, to earn by service, to be worthy of something due either good or evil. Okay, now type in owe.
Definition. He owes
To be indebted to the amount of, I have a moral or legal obligation to render or offer. To be in debt to.
Yeah.
So you work and I owe you money.
Yeah. Like I understand what you're saying, but
let's say we don't have an agreement and you just did a bunch of stuff. And if I have the means, you're gonna tell me you don't deserve a little something if I can do it?
if we have an agreement, then yeah.
Besides the agreement,
no,
owed and deserve.
No. If we don't have,
you don't think you would deserve at least you don't have to say it.
I know, but you could just, I can think I deserve it,
Yeah.
and you can think I don't. So which one is right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right? Because I'm not going to name names, but I don't even want to go into the story. But they're like, you don't deserve the credit that you would get for this. And I'm like, why not? Why don't I deserve when I feel like I deserve it? You know?
Yeah.
Am I gonna get the credit and then do I deserve to? I don't know.
All right, fair enough. You know, that's the one caveat where I'll be like, you know, I'm willing to concede on this because I don't think it defaults my whole argument. It was just like one little aspect of it.
Yeah, like if you work hard, you should be rewarded.
But I would imagine
it's
somebody
not-
who's actually good and cares definitely should feel like they deserve something if they worked as hard, if not harder, than someone who just takes the more commercial route. Not saying that the commercial route always means they're working less hard. No, actually, a lot of the times you're working really hard
Yeah.
to do some commercial bullshit.
Yeah.
But doesn't mean you're not working as hard.
But okay, so here's an example, right? If a guy just digs holes and he works his ass off, he digs holes 3 days straight, and he's, whoosh, you know, he's like Francis and Gunn. I guess he got what he deserved. Anyways, you know, like
Yeah.
you dig holes and you're working harder than the guy that he just puts fries in the bag.
Yeah.
You know, but you're digging holes. Do you say you should get more money even though you're getting paid less for digging the holes? You're working way harder,
It depends on what you're agreed upon.
but you're working way
Who the
harder.
is going to start work without having some sort of agreement? You start a job and they're like, we will pay you this much for this many hours.
At
You
that-
do. You
but
hold
then
up your
At
end.
that point, you're owed and you don't deserve.
Fair enough. Great.
Yeah, because you made an agreement.
But you just kind of proved my point that there's a difference. Like there's difference.
There is, but that's why
There's
I was stuck
difference.
on the deserve word in
Yeah.
the first place.
It's all subjective. Owed versus deserved. No, I think the episode title is going to be Sellout Era. The Sellout Era. Can you write that down for me just so I don't forget? That's going to be it for this episode. Actually, before you write this down, any final words for the people? That's why I said before you write this down.
Any work good. What the? Yo, work good and do good work, and
You're off the show, Rose.
everything goes to Allah, brother.
Bo, 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 bo. Where can people find you online?
You can find me online at Dante, CheZDANTE. Polar boy.
Hey, and I'm AKA Black Zeus on Instagram. And right here is the place to be. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe. You made it to the end of the podcast, you probably subscribed. And I love you and I thank you. If you haven't, hit that sub. Become a beautiful person. If you haven't already, go check out the latest episode of Black Zeus, the show on the channel right now. More clips coming this week. As always, I'm going to post a comedy clip, which will probably already be up by the time this episode's out. So go check out the latest comedy clip and all that good stuff. Until next week, I love y'all. This has been Black Zeus, the podcast, season 6, episode 18. Peace, peace.
Hey, it's Hen Dog.
Black Zeus the Podcast Season 6, featuring Black Zeus and Dante, aka Black Zeus on YouTube.